Hi guys, I am Maya, and this little fur ball that you can't quite see is Fraggle. And welcome to my brand new YouTube channel, Tall Girl Talking. I am said tall girl, Maya, and I am 6'2", hence the tall in Tall Girl Talking. I thought that I would create a space where we could talk about all kinds of things, being issues that tall women have, like clothes, fitting in airplanes, etc. But also want to talk about a lot of fun things like makeup and fitness and cooking and nerdy things like my obsession with the Muppets, hence Fraggle from Fraggle Rock, or Disney, and just have a fun space where we can all enjoy these things together. My main reason for creating this channel, though, is I want it to be the place to hold me accountable for my upcoming weight loss journey. I actually hate the word journey when it comes to weight loss. I think it implies that there's an end, and when you're doing weight loss correctly, there is no end. It's a lifetime commitment. And so that's why I use journey in air quotes. But I can't think of a better word. You guys can think of a better word? Let me know down in the comments, because I can't think of a better one. And it's the one most frequently used. For my first video, I thought I would tell you a little bit about my history with fitness and weight loss and what has brought me to this decision today. So, let's see, in 2010, so 9 years ago, I found myself unemployed, and it was the first time I was unemployed in my adult life. And not by choice. I work in theater, and the show that I was working on closed, and that means you're out of a job when you're hired on a show-by-show basis. So I was the first time I was unemployed, and I became incredibly depressed, and I'd always had a problem with my weight, and yeah, I always said I wanted to do something about it, but I was always too chicken, or just didn't know where to start, or just honestly, it was too lazy. So I remember the exact moment when I decided that I wanted to take my life in the control of my own hands and to get myself literally out of bed and get my ass in gear. And it was the Friday before Labor Day, as I just said. I knew exactly when, but it was the Friday before Labor Day, and of, like I said, 2010, and I was falling asleep and, you know, in my depressed state was having all sorts of negative thoughts run through my head, and I mentally slapped myself and said, "What are you doing? You have always wanted to lose weight." I was living in New York City at the time, and I lived a half a block from Central Park. And I said, "You have a park, one of the most famous in the world, right outside your doorstep. That's free exercise. What are you doing?" So I decided the very next day that I was going to get out and I was just going to walk. My older sister had lost around 60 pounds just walking. And you know, of course, watching her diet, but walking was her main source of exercise. And when I woke up on Saturday, I said, I don't know, maybe I won't do this today. And again, mentally slapped myself and said, no, if you wait until tomorrow, you're never going to do it. So I dusted off my one pair of tennis shoes that I owned and probably hadn't worn in over a year, and some nasty ass sweats that I had, and I got my butt out that door and I walked around the Central Park Reservoir, which was right near my apartment. And that first day was rough. It was rough. And this was, like I said, September, so it was hot. And I did it. And at first I was like, no, I'm not gonna track my weight. I want this just to be about getting healthy. And so I didn't step on the scale initially because I was scared of the scale, like so many of us are. So I said I'm not going to count calories, and I'm just going to eat healthy and watch what I eat and make better choices. And a few days into this time of weight loss, notice I didn't say journey, I was talking to my roommate's girlfriend at the time. And she said, you really should check out counting calories, because if you're really serious about this, I think you should look into that. And I was like, I don't know. So I looked into it and I did it for a few days just to see how it went. And I found out it was really pretty easy. And just by counting calories, I was automatically making better choices. You can eat more of the lower calorie foods, etc. The first 10 pounds, the first 20 pounds just fell off. And if you've ever lost weight before, you know that it can become addicting. That when you start seeing results, you want more results. And so I started just working out all the time. I was walking all the time. And then another friend of mine said, you might need to kick up the intensity of your workouts, or else you're going to be taking 3 or 4, 5 hour long walks in order to keep seeing results. And she said, you should look into running. Yeah. I was that kid that in elementary school, when they had the presidential fitness test, where you had to run a mile straight, I couldn't do it. And I had to put my name on the wall of shame, and I declared right then and there that I was not a runner. I never would be a runner. So again, like everything to do with my weight loss, I thought about it and said, all right, I'll give this a go. And downloaded a Couch to 5K. It was a podcast on my old school iPod that had the little turning wheel thing. I don't even know if it was a podcast. I think it was just like a CD or something that I downloaded from iTunes. Anyway, it would play this fast pumping music, and it would tell you when to run, and it would tell you when to walk. And like the first week it was like run 10 seconds, walk for 2 minutes. And very quickly, I decided, I don't know if I'm going to quite do that. I felt like I needed to, amp up the level a little bit more right from the get-go. So like I said, I was usually walking around the reservoir, and one day I decided, I'm going to just run. See how far I can go before I feel like I'm going to die, and then just walk and catch my breath and then do it again. And, first, now mind you, when I say run, I mean going slower than an elephant walking through peanut butter. I was so slow, but you know what? Didn't matter. I was running. I was running for the first time in my life. And so I went and I ran probably a quarter of the reservoir, and then walked, and then, did another quarter, and I felt really good about it. I did a couple of loops, and which one loop of the reservoir is 1.5 miles. So I would try and usually do 2 loops, but sometimes I was tired and I only did one. But so I did 2 loops and I felt great. Oh my God, I'm running. And the next day I did it again, and this time I ran half of the reservoir before I had to stop. And at that point, again, I was addicted. Cut to, I signed up for my first race. And I signed up for, it wasn't a 5K, it was a 4-miler. It was weird. In New York City road runners, they didn't have 5Ks, they had 4-milers, at least back then. So I signed up for a 4-miler, and again, so slow, and I was one of, probably the last 100 finishers, but I wasn't the last, and you know what, I was still faster than the people who didn't do it. So I went and signed up for my next race, and that one was a 10K. In the meantime, I'm running 4 or 5 times a week. I'm getting thinner and thinner and thinner. 10K kicked my butt. Worst run. Really did a number on my psyche. And I didn't run again for, it was probably a year. And at that point, when I stopped running, I plateaued. I maybe lose 5 or 10 pounds, but then I'd gain it back. So I was kind of hovering right around 70 pounds lost. Which is a great achievement. But finally I got back into running again, and I decided I was going to do a half marathon. I'd done the 5K, done the 10K. It was time for the next challenge. And so I signed up for my first half marathon in Edinburgh, Scotland. Why not go big or go home? I had been running again for about a year when I finally found that race that worked perfectly. Trained my butt off, and got down to the lowest weight I've ever been, which was a total of 90 pounds lost. And ran my half marathon, ran faster, I had my fastest time that I've ever run. And I did it in my goal was to just do it under 3 hours, and I did it in, I believe it was 2 hours and 53 minutes. So I was very proud that I did it underneath my goal. And after that, I got lazy. I've done actually 2 half marathons since, but I didn't train for them correctly, and it actually caused me to injure both of my knees. I started touring with shows. That's my main day job, is touring with Broadway shows. And finding a place or a time to run can be difficult. And I did a run that was too far for my current state of fitness, and I strained an MCL. The MCL is not the ACL, which is usually what people think of, which is the interior part of the knee, but the MCL is like on the inside of the knee, so right there. So had to take a long break. Finally was getting back into it once again. Overdid it because I'm like, well, I used to be able to do this. Why can't I do it anymore? And I strained the other one. That was about a year ago. And and I've tried to slowly get back into it. Meanwhile, I've seen my weight creep up and up and up. Making excuses for myself, which is honestly what I did when I was at my heaviest. And I'm not happy. I'm not feeling good. Joints are starting to ache like they did when I was at my heaviest. I've gained back, from my lowest, I've gained back about 40 pounds. So not quite a full half of what I lost, but still enough for me to say, ding, 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 time to get back on track. So, why am I telling you all of this? because I want you guys to help me stay accountable. I am going to be talking about my running, my diet, in upcoming videos, and if you don't see me posting about it, ask me about it, because if I'm not posting about it, it means I'm not doing it. So I count my calories using MyFitnessPal. I'll put the link to the app down below. Mostly it has a huge database, and you just add in what you've eaten that day. Super simple. You put in all of your traits, your current fitness, your weight, your height, your age, and it figures out the amount of calories that you should be eating per day. And it does account for if you hook up, say I have an Apple Watch, if you have a Fitbit, if you, it adds in calories back for when you work out, when you hit your steps, etc. So, you know, you can keep that balance of, let's say you walked your butt off that day and you want to have, I don't know, a hamburger. Well, you can do it. I've found this is the most sustainable for me. I've tried keto, I've tried Weight Watchers, I tried that app Noom, and honestly, little bits of it all just made me feel bad about myself in certain ways, shape, or form. With Noom, it was counting calories, but they labeled certain foods as red and yellow and green foods, and so if I wasn't eating enough green foods, I was feeling guilty. I didn't need that. I am going to eat mostly good foods in order to stay under my calorie count, but I'm also gonna have the occasional cookie. I'm gonna have a bag of chips. And that's why counting calories works for me. It may not work for everyone. You do you find out what works for you. But I can still have stuff. I just have to account for it. Either I work out a little bit harder if I want a slice of pizza, or, you know, in terms of the Weight Watchers thing where, you know, you have your weekly points, you know, maybe you go over by 200 calories one day, but then maybe you go under them the next day and you really watch your calories that day. You know, it's the same kind of thing. All of them kind of correlate to the same thing. Alright guys, so evidently my camera automatically cuts off at 20 minutes. Didn't realize that. So I had this great ending to my video and it didn't record. So that's why I'm in a different outfit. That's why I have no makeup on. That's why I have my glasses on. I should probably take that off because I'm sure there was some glare. Anyway, so back to weight loss. And I noticed in watching my video back that I moved my hands a lot and I messed with my face a lot. So I promise I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna sit like this, demurely. So anyway, I wanted to announce that I have signed up for the Disney full marathon in Orlando in January. So training starts now, and I'm actually a couple weeks behind, so I have some catching up to do. But so you're probably gonna see some training stuff, maybe not necessarily all here, but maybe over on my Instagram, or I'm gonna try and post on Twitter. I've never been much of a Twitter person, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna leave the handles to both of those down below. And believe me, this is not just going to be a weight loss vlog. I just wanted that to be my first video because it is an important reason as to why I started it. Not the only reason as to why I started it, but an important reason as to why I started it. But I have lots of fun things that I have planned. I have a trip to Disney in September and I want to bring you guys along for that. I am going, I think my next video, fingers crossed if I can get it done, is I'm going to show you guys how I do my hair color. I know a lot of people have asked me just in my normal everyday life how I do it, and I thought, why not share it for the world? So yeah, lots of fun things in store. Weight loss, health, just fun. So I hope you guys will join me for this ride we call life, and I will see you guys next time. If you think you might want to join me for this journey, hit subscribe down below, or hit the little bell icon thing. I'm not sure how often I'm going to post. I'm hoping at least once a week. It all just depends on real life. So, again, I hope you will join me for this adventure, and I'll see you guys the next time. Bye!